Hi, everyone. This is Gary, and welcome to this week's live Path to Prosperity webinar. Let me just make sure we got everything we need here. There's a couple of attachments. Okay, and some websites we're going to look at. So in any case, first off, welcome to all the new folks and all veteran agents too and investors. Of course, I've been in California since January the 4th, so a lot of you are going to be Californians, but let's just check the attendee list and see who we got here. We got some New Jerseyans. Tom Slaterbeck. Tom, how you doing, buddy? Long time no see. Hey, let me turn on my camera here. Hang on one second. Hopefully I'll turn the camera on. If there's enough bandwidth here on this, I'm on a hotel's Wi-Fi, so let's see if there's enough bandwidth to use my camera. So Tom, hopefully I look the same to you, buddy. Long time no see. Hope you're doing well. For everyone else, good to see you too. Hey, Shannon, good to see you. Welcome aboard. I don't know if this is your first one or not, but hey, great subject for tonight, guys. We're going to go over the letter. I'll show you the letter itself. We'll break it down, give you the checklist, how to use the letter. This is for how we get inventory, like going under the radar screen, okay? And I'll also give an example of how we use court records and basically public records to identify the specific owners of specific properties, okay? Pam Reggio, Pennsylvania. Boy, we got people from all over. Indiana. Hey, Doug, how you doing? Hey, Doug, I talked to sorry, hang on a second. I'm drawing a blank here. Oh, Brian, sorry. Spoke to Brian earlier. Great conversation. I've got to send him some information on the program, but it looks like he's going to do that, and we'll have a local rep right there in Fort Wayne. Adam LaFarga. All right, Derek Raleigh. How you doing, buddy? We just got some we got some real veterans in the group here, as well as some new folks, some people from all over coast to coast. Jeff, how you doing, buddy? Michigan. Lots of Californians. Good. So let's do this, guys. I'm going to make sure, if you can make sure your phone is on silent mode. Actually, I'm sorry, you don't need to do that because you're on mute by default. So for everyone who's new, you'll notice that by default, you're in mute mode. It's just because there's typically 100 or more of us on here, and we can't all be live audio at the same time. This is live. It is being recorded. So let me just make sure we're good to go here. Looks like we're all set. Okay. So if you have questions, use the question box to type in your questions. Sometimes I can unmute you. We'll do we'll have some dialogue. Everybody will be able to hear it, but it's okay. Sometimes we do that because it's faster to get clarification. All right. Always make sure you look at the email the next day from Beverly. She's going to give the recording of the webinar. So some of you are going to be watching this in recorded mode, but regardless, always get the email because she gives you the schedule changes coming up or any new schedule additions, changes to she's going to identify changes to the material and the platforms. So you definitely want to get the email and go through it and make sure you get everything in there. By the way, we're getting pretty close here to the next 3-day event, which is April 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. In Anaheim, at the Anaheim Marriott, right outside the gates of Disneyland. Brand just remodeled, great resort, and they gave us a great deal on the room rate. So some of you are going to be able to drive there, okay, on a daily basis. Some of you are flying in. If you're not sure if you've got your spot, remember, if you're a current student, you don't have to pay. You get the whole thing for free. Pretty good event. I think Tom Slaterbeck's been to a couple of them. It's fun, but more importantly, guys, it's just the way it lifts you up. Expands your field of vision. You'll be able to see more clearly things can be done. You just didn't know the pathway. That's what this is going to do for you. So in any case, look for the email from Beverly. Now, let me just double check and make sure technology-wise we're all okay. So can you see my screen and hear my voice? So if each of you can let me know that you're okay on the technology and be able to see my screen and hear my voice, and I'm going to check for all the answers here. So far, everybody's okay. And by the way, if you do have questions, guys, even before we jump into today's content, go ahead and post the questions here, because if there's things we can cover, low-hanging fruit, obviously we'll do that first. Let me just check here for Hey, Pam, check your sound settings. Looks like everybody's okay on this end. Or sorry, everyone else seems to be okay. Hi, Gary, I sent you an email with the rough draft of my booklet. Not sure if you received it. Okay, Jacob, I'm going to look for that tonight after the webinar. Hang on one second. So, Jacob, booklet. Thanks, Jake. I'm going to look for that. I mean, who knows with an attachment, it might have gone to spam, but I'll let you know before the day's out, okay? I appreciate you letting me know that. Okay, Jacob, this is Doug. Awesome. He texted me earlier. He said he had a great, yeah, good guy. I can tell right away. He's a good guy, Doug, so I appreciate you sending him this way. Okay, this is from Shannon. Hi, Shannon. Hi, Gary. You mentioned a few times that it takes a different mindset for Asian investors working in a large metropolis. Can you explain what you mean by that? I'm in Los Angeles. Hey, Shane, I know exactly who you are. So I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you. I think that was a Beverly Hills Market Center. And I think we've got like 4 or 5 agents from your Market Center in the program. So in any case, what I mean by that, Shannon, is when we work with owner occupants, there's certain behavioral patterns we use with owner occupants in different behavioral patterns that we use with investors. So, for example, the way this shows up in a practical sense is with owner occupants, you typically have a small farm area with a big database. Okay, you got to have 200 people to survive in this business with owner occupants. That's the old rule of thumb. With investors, we actually have a smaller set of clients, usually no more than a couple dozen actually, but over a broader area. You want to expand their realm of possibilities for investing. So, for example, we are, Shannon, I would flip there. I would flip homes there. But if your clients are looking for rentals, while you do have a strong rental market there, if their thing is cash flow, then I would have you go out to the outlying areas, Whittier, Downey, Norco, Corona, Covina, all kinds of great areas within well, I was going to say a short drive, depending on the day of the week. Not too bad of a drive if you can hit it on off hours, but for the cash flow properties, you can within Beverly Hills, LA proper, Hollywood. I mean, you've got like 80% of the people rent. It's just the properties are more expensive. So in order to cash flow, your clients have to put more money down. I mean, we have foreign investors right here. I'm still here, right? I'm actually in where am I right now? I'm in La Mirada, excuse me, pretty close to you actually. A lot of foreign investors actually will bring in cash, and it's just crazy because they're plunking down all this cash, but then they'll definitely cash flow. So remember, just because an area is more expensive doesn't mean you can't cash flow. It's just how you structure the deal. Typically, more cash will do that. And I know it sounds strange because why would people do that? Well, people do it. I don't know, but more about that, Shannon, will be explained and taught to you at the 3-day event in Anaheim. So you definitely want to go there. I mean, Tom Slaterbeck will tell you, just call him up. He's just Google Tom Slaterbeck. I think he's with Remax now. But in any case, I promise you, it'll expand your field of vision, but more importantly, we're going to show you a little bit about how you can put your mind to work for you. And it's not like a big, spiritual weekend kind of thing. It's not what it is. It's learning, flat out learning for 2.5 days. It's just we have to give you this so that in the practical application world, in other words, in the material world, you're exhibiting the right behavior for the right kind of clients. That's really what it comes down to. Academic skills, I can teach it to the cows come home. Behavioral skills, they take time. In any case, you'll see more at the 3-day event, but fundamentally speaking, people who are investing have different motivations than people buying homes they're going to live in. So we have to tap into those motivations. We got to enter the conversation that's already going on inside their mind. And going through the learning in this program and executing the marketing campaigns, a lot of that will be revealed to you. And at the 3-day event, it's basically we're just expanding that dramatically. Okay, so thanks for the question, by the way. That's an excellent question. And I look forward to seeing you too. Okay, let's see, Jeff, Mocha, hey Mocha. Sandra, hi Sandra, is asking, do you have a free source for looking up phone numbers by name? No, well, you can use white pages, but unfortunately nowadays, the vast majority of people have cell phones and they're not going to be in the white pages, typically. People who have landlines, you'll still find them in the white pages. Here, I'll just show you. Okay. If you want to ensure that you get phone numbers for names, you're going to have to pay for one of the services. There's a bunch of them out there. So let's do this. White pages. Okay, there it is, whitepages.com official. So you click on that, and yes, you can look up reverse phone numbers, but sometimes they're going to charge you. So in any case, let's do this. I don't really know a person, but there should be a way. Let's do this. Let's look up Wilson. There should be about 5 billion Wilsons in the world. So let's do Los Angeles, and let's see what we get. Okay, Sarah E. Wilson, bunches of Wilsons. Arizona Wilson, also known as Arizona Wilson. I don't know who this stuff is. Okay, we don't want to. This looks like one of those paid services. So hang on one second. I'm going to reduce the panel, Sandra, so I can see everything on the screen here. We don't want to pay for a full report because they're going to charge us. Actually, let's just see what pops up. Teddy Wilson. Let's see what old Teddy looks. Okay, so here's Teddy Wilson. He's in Inglewood. Show map. But see, they're still not giving me the phone number. We don't want to see the map. You can see where he is. Sorry, let me reduce that. I know this looks like it's jumping around on your. Oh, here we go. I'm probably doing it wrong. Let's click on phone number. See, we don't know if we know a name, so we'll keep Teddy Wilson. And we'll just start over again here. What I'm trying to find out, Sandra, is the way to get the phone number without having to pay for it. It used to be you could go on white pages. It's just like the phone book that you and I would get in our on our doorstep every year. And actually, they still do that, by the way. So this isn't giving it to us. Unlock Eddie's full report. We definitely don't want that. So let's just start over again. Okay, let's do phone number. Whoops. Phone number. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but I just want to show you that I've been able to find resources before. That was white pages again. All right, know who called you. Well, then we don't want to do that. We just want good old-fashioned white pages, okay? U.S. phone numbers, toll-free, T-Mobile voice. I'm just surprised. White pages definitely changed. That used to be you could go to white pages. White house phone, white pages, reverse. White pages phone book. There it is. Let's try that. Okay. And Sandra, if I don't get too far with this, I'll go ahead and move on with tonight's subject. So let's see if there's a Gary Wilson out here. I bet there's a Gary Wilson out here. Los Angeles, California. And that should be good enough. Yeah, it's going to give us the same thing. And we don't want to do that. Show more premium results. I think that's going to get the same stuff. So one mobile number, 0 landlines. See, there you go. There's one mobile number, no landlines. And they're not going to have cell phone numbers in there. We need actual landlines. See that? Same thing. One mobile number, no landline. Okay, so sorry, Sandra. You can try that more on your own if you like and see if you get any better results. But back to this. Let me go back to the questions here, make sure we're okay. Okay, let's see. That was, Pam has sent out. Thanks, Pam. 3-day events, awesome. That's from Tom Slaterbeck, guys. I think, Tom, you've been to like 3 of them. And Tom's with Remax Connection, Medford, New Jersey. If anybody, for those of you in the program, remember you can connect with each other directly. Go to the community site on myinvestmentservices.com. Here, I'll show you. For those of you who are relatively new, let's go there. So myinvestmentservices.com. Click on members area. Okay. Click on all of us are server level by default. Okay, including me. And then if you scroll down from the server level where you see community site, log in here. okay? And you can click on any of these icons. These are all students here, okay? Click on any one you want, right? Let's just see who this is. Deion Harris. Let's go to California. Let's see if you guys are on the ball and putting yourself out here yet. Not sure who this is. We just clicked on it. We'll find out in a second. I don't know why this is doing this. Let me expand this a wee bit. See if this is better. Move down to California. I'm going to move on here in a second. I just want to see who we have in Southern California. Here's Cedric Farrell. I'm not sure why this is doing this, guys. This is the strangest thing. It usually gives you a record, like the first one did. But in any case, hopefully yours is working better than mine. But you should be able to get contact information from anybody you want anywhere in the network, the Investor Agent Network. So in any case, that's Tom. Thanks, Tom, for saying that. Let me go back here and see if there's any more. We'll move on here. Awesome. That's helpful. Thank you. I'll be at the event for sure. Thanks, Shannon. Yeah, Tom's been to 3 of them. Okay. All right, let's do this, guys. We've finished the questions for now. Let's go into the content. So let me click off on the members area here. All right. First things first. I'm going to make sure that every one of you gets this in the email. So the email is going to come out tomorrow. I'm going to make sure it has the letter checklist in there. So I know Beverly watches these in review mode to make sure she knows what I'm promising for everybody. So she'll know what she's committed to. She's probably smiling right now. But in case, letter checklist, you're going to get this. You're going to also get the actual letter itself. This is the one I teach when I'm in the offices, okay? You're going to get that, all right? And I'm also going to show you, there's a transcription you can get. Let's see if I can find that. Hang on one second. Not sure what's happening there, but I might have just deleted myself out of the, there it is. So I'm going to go into court records here in a bit, and I'll show you how to actually search for stuff, okay? In any case, let's go back here. Let's go to the checklist first, all right? Now, here, the reason why I'm doing this in this order is earlier in the year, a few weeks back, we went over how to actually use the school report, how to set it up, Melissa data and all that. And then we went into the booklet. I think that was last week, if not the week before. So now you know how to gather data. Now you know how to attract people, and now you know how to attract the actual properties, the specific owners of specific properties. So let's just start going through this, okay? And it'll start to make a lot more sense. First things first, you definitely need to know what your goals are. When you're using a technique like this, a specific letter, we're not casting a wide net, so you've got to really understand precisely what it is you're looking for. And the letter is intended to be used only on demand, like it's based on demand. So if you have a client looking for a 4-unit building, then you want to make sure you use the letter is sent to only owners of 4-unit buildings in the specific areas where you're looking for your clients, okay? So that's your goals. Numbers of units, maybe you're looking for a certain amount of rent per unit, maybe certain numbers of bedrooms per unit. I mean, this is the kind of level of detail we're talking about. You've got to get that specific, okay, so that you're not casting a wide net. This is not cast a wide net and see what we pull up. If you've ever been net fishing before, it's a great analogy, because if you go net fishing, you know that you'll watch people casting nets, and they pull up, the tin can, the boot, the tire, the crab, and other stuff you probably don't want, and an occasional fish. That's not how we do our business. We do high level targeted, highly specific, pre-selected audience type marketing. It's like the difference between hunting with a shotgun and hunting with a rifle. Rifles, laser beam focus, shotgun is you scatter everything, right? So we're more about the focus and the target. Okay, so again, number 1, know your goals. Number 2, determine the type of properties you're looking for. So if we're looking for 10plexes, we only send the letters to people who own 10plexes, okay? The letter itself, we'll go over here in a minute, but you're going to have that provided to you. If you don't already have it, you'll get your actual Word document for the letter, okay? And then number 4 is you use a 3-part method on how do you actually determine where are you going to target. So there's where are you going to target, and there's what you're going to target. The what is the type of property. 4plex, for example, made out of 2-bedroom units. That's the what. The where is where we're going to use school report, Melissa data, planning commission websites, things like that. Remember, we went over that in module 1. We actually went over that in class. So we got to repeat. Remember, repetition is the mother of learning. And also, we went over it the other week, okay, in a live webinar. So that's number 4. Okay. Just scroll down here real quick. Sorry, number 5 is use public records to find the name and addresses of people who are part of a court action, like divorce, bankruptcy, foreclosure, probate, landlord tenant cases, all the obvious ones, all right? Any case, probate is decedents, by the way. And you're gonna, matter of fact, let's do that now. I'm gonna show you how I've used this in the past to identify specific owners of specific properties that I would then send the letter to, and then we'll get back on that. So let me go there. Okay. So if you notice here, I'm on Allegheny County, U.S. Public Records. Okay. So I'm going to look for a date range. Let's do this. Let's go. Actually, I'm sorry. Let me start with February 5th. We have February 12th. I'm going to apply that. If I need different court records, hang on one second here. So let's do this. I want to look for specific types of filings. I need to go case search. Okay. I'm going to do a date range, search case filings by date. Okay. And in here, I'm going to select a date range. So I just selected, let's do March 5th through March 12th. Perfect. Oop, March 12th, excuse me. All right, now we'll do apply that. Now we're going to look for specific records. And by the way, I want to just emphasize something here, guys. Wherever I've done this in the country, no two systems look alike. Unfortunately, you just have to, you got to just Google it, play with it, and learn how it works. If you're in an area where they don't really readily provide the data to you, in other words, you've got to have like a paid subscription. Some counties will do that. The difference is there's summary level data, and then there's specific level data, like the details. What we want is the summary data. We just want the plaintiff and defendant records, whoever filed the case, divorce, probate, landlord, tenant, eviction, what have you. We don't care about the details. We don't care who did what to whom. We just want names and addresses. So in a lot of places, you have to pay for the details, but not for the summary record, which is the example here. I know in Nashville, you got to pay like $30 for access, but you know what? It's worth it. So let me show you here. So I'm going to go to arbitration because I know when I win in a landlord tenant case at the magistrate's level, if a tenant appeals me, they're going to go to what's called the arbitration level. It falls within the Court of Common Pleas, which is the county level. So these records are all county level records, okay? And then what happens is if they go through arbitration and somebody, let's say I win again, this has actually happened, and they can appeal me again. They can use like neighborhood legal services to appeal again to the next higher level, which is the common pleas level, where you get an actual judge. So let's look for LT case. LT stands for landlord tenant cases. Okay. So let's click on this. Fazio versus Fleming. Let's see what they're up to. Okay. So here we go. The filing date was on the 12th, which was just today, ironically, earlier today. So the amount in dispute is $421.05. So the let's see, defendant appeal. Okay, so I'm assuming the landlord is the plaintiff because the defendant appealed. They lost the case and they appealed, went to arbitration. So let's look and see what we get down here. All right, there we go. This is what we want. We want plaintiff and defendant address information. Namely, we want the plaintiff because I'm assuming Robert Fazio, is the landlord who filed for eviction against Ernestine Fleming, who lives at 754 North Sheridan Avenue, apartment 1. Okay, now what's interesting is this. This person uses a P.O. box. And for those of you who are going to get into the rental business, either owning them yourself or managing them for other people, you definitely want a P.O. box. Don't ever use your own home address, okay? So what I'm going to do now is I actually have an address of the rental property. I'm assuming this is a rental property. So I'm going to now do this. I'm going to grab this street name, North Sheridan, copy that. I know the house number is 754, and I'm going to go to the county tax records. This is the county tax assessor's database, okay? And I have a house number. What did I say that was? 754. And we have a street name, North Sheridan. Let me just go back real quick and check. 754, right? Street name. Do I know the actual municipality? Well, it just says Pittsburgh. Let's just search with what we got. We're going to search and come down here. Let's see, guide. She did not include any suffix. Oh, so let's take off North. Sorry, see if that helps things here. And do a search. And I'm surprised this thing's already out here. 754 Sheridan. By address, was that the? We're sorry we couldn't locate what you're looking for. Let's go back to the court case. 754 North Sheridan, apartment 1, Pittsburgh. Let's try another one here. I don't know why that's not finding that because we get the actual address, 754 North Sheridan. Seems like we need to have North in there. And let's just put in Pittsburgh. We don't know the actual ward, do we? So nope, we don't do that. 15206. So let's go here. Take that out because we already know it's going to come back with no results. Actually, let's do Sheridan and see what pops up. Because maybe there's a typo somewhere in the court record. Let's take off North. Okay, if I don't hit it on this one, we're going to try another one here. Okay, search. Aha, here we go. So let's see what we have here. We're going to have to go forward in the addresses a good bit. 754 Sheridan. We need North Sheridan. We don't know where that is. Let's try this. Jump ahead a little bit. In any case, what I'm getting at is this. You click, actually, let's go back to another case. Let me start with another case here. These are the highlights. That's the court date. So this is all some of the details. Again, we don't really care about that stuff. But what I want to do is I'm going to look for another case. Let's go back here. Look for another landlord-tenant case. Here's one. Homewood North Apartments versus Richardson. Let's click on that. Whoops. Okay, so we have Homewood North Apartments, Brushton Avenue, Pittsburgh, and Richardson is the tenant. So I'm willing to bet this 120A is probably a live-in landlord, and 1060 is the actual tenant's address. Let's just go Brushton, Allegheny County, Brushton, okay, and see what we get. Oops. Try hit the shoulder again. Allegheny. Hey guys, if you're feeling a little bit frustrated, it's natural because this is the kind of stuff that happens sometimes, but the results are worth it. Okay, I can tell you. I know Tom's used a letter before. In fact, we have students already. Matter of fact, right here out in the LA area, already using the letter and already getting results. And in fact, we have other students using the bank method, and they're getting results. Okay, Sorry, I didn't have the house number, but type in search Brushton Avenue. So the address was 1060, 1020. Let's see if we can find that. By the way, if you don't see a house number, that's generally a land, okay? So I'm going to jump ahead, way ahead here. And let's go forward. So Brushton Avenue. In any case, here's what you do. You click on this right here, all right? And it brings up the property record for the property. And what's important is you not only get the property address, you get the owner's name, okay? And way down here, you'll see this owner also has a P.O. box. So what this tells me is this is a tenant-occupied property. We kind of already know that. We know the owner's name. We know he or she, Philip and Annette, excuse me, do not live at Brushton. They've got that rented out more than likely. And we have their mailing address, okay? So I do the exact same thing. So what I would do is I would send them the letter that I would go over here in a minute. I would send that to the owner. I know the owner is evicting somebody. I also know they've been appealed to the arbitration level. So if you think about landlords who are evicting tenants and they're getting appealed, do you think they may be interested in wanting to sell? Well, chances are they will, especially if they do that at times. So in any case, I just want to go through one example of how you can locate owners of property. So let's do this. I want to go back to the question box here. This is from Raymond. Hey, Raymond, let's see, what do you put if you are working with a flipper that wants distressed property? Well, distress can mean a lot of things. So what I would do then is, let me go back here. I don't think the bank cases are in this. Let's do this. We wanted to do, okay, arbitration, criminal courts, mortgage foreclosure. So Raymond, we would find the court type, in this case, mortgage foreclosure, do the same date range. People file for foreclosure every week and bankruptcy and all that. So we can see here we've got a bunch of mortgage foreclosure cases, okay? Here's U.S. Bank National. Let's click on that, okay? So what we'll see here, Raymond, is so 2 days ago, yesterday, this bank, U.S. National Bank, filed for proceedings against Daniel Miller. He's a defendant. Now, here's the cool thing. No court case has been set for this yet, as far as I can tell. But look at the amount of dispute: $148,505.73. Okay. Now, chances are this person still has title to the property. Okay. So we know. Say, check this out, guys. How about this? So by the way, U.S. Bank. A lot of people love them. A lot of people don't. I personally like them. We've done some good business with them. And for those of you in the Southern California area, look where they are. They're in Irvine. Okay. In any case, the address is Donmore Drive, Pittsburgh, PA. All right. I'm assuming this guy lives there. But let's go look up Donmore and see what we get. Okay. Want to go back to search again. New search. So Donmore is the street name. Okay. DNMOR. And we're going to click on search. And what was there it is, Daniel Miller right here. So let's go take a look at the property. So as far as distress goes, Raymond, we know this person, there's different types of distress. There's financial distress. The owners in dire straits are going to lose their property. There's physical distress. The property has deferred maintenance. And in a lot of cases, you're going to get both in the same deal. Okay. So let's see here. This person is living there. In other words, his mailing address is the same as the physical property address. But what I'd like to do, let's go look at the tax information. Okay. And let's see how they're doing on their taxes. Because chances are, 2019 has been unpaid. I mean, chances are 2018 has been paid up from the mortgage company. They're going to collect an escrow enough to pay property taxes and insurance and all that. But let's look here and look at the picture of the property and see what it looks like, okay? And by the way, now that we have the address, actually looks pretty good. Now that we have the address, we can actually do a Google search on the property and see what Google thinks of it. Look at all the pictures we can find online. Do Google search the address, you'll get if the property was listed. Matter of fact, let's see if we can find it online. Okay, you can see if it's been listed for sale. But what I want to do is go back to building information first. So let's go look at that, see what the assessor thinks. So the assessor is telling us this is a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom home, split level, single family, built in '76, 2 years before lead paint changed. Full basement, C+ on the grade, average condition, basement garage, 2-car garage. So 1,800 square feet. Looks like a pretty good thing here. So let's do this. I'm going to keep that one. I think I'm going to close this one out. Then we'll keep that one too. Let me just see if we can find anything else on this property. Okay. And there we go. Zillow. Redfin, Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com. So chances are this Remax. There we go. Here you go, Tom. Let's see how your buddies are doing over there in Western Pennsylvania. So Remax at least had this thing listed at one point. And let's see if it still is. And what you can do then, Raymond, is look at the listing and the information on the property and see if you can determine what its overall condition is, right? So this is Remax listing website. Other comparable properties. Okay, I'm not really seeing. Let's go back here. Let's see what Zillow thinks. Okay, whoops, excuse me. Zillow, hopefully will give us some more pictures. Okay, they're looking for $230,000. At least that's what Zillow thinks. Okay, owner review. Well, let's go back to public view. So this is, remember, Zillow's going to put stuff out there whether it's for sale or not. It's one of the things that drives me crazy about consumers that look at that. They think just because it's on here is for sale, and it usually takes up a lot of our time. But we're not getting a lot of good pictures on this stuff. I'm going to close this out here, and we'll close that out. And so hopefully, Ramon, this gives you some insight on how you can determine by looking at court cases. What you do is you go up to where it shows you the, hang on a second here, where you can select the court type, right? So you can see, let's see here, mortgage foreclosure, we did that. Federal tax lien, you can look at that. You can look at the family division. So we can go a family division and see who's filed for divorce, okay? FD means family divorce. Let's just look at Stutchel versus Stutchel. I got a feeling they're not going to be Stutchel anymore. There'll be something else here coming down the road. So again, we get the plaintiff information, defendant information. We don't really care about the details. This one's brand new. There's not much on this one. So let's close this one out and let's find the one that was filed. Look at all the divorce cases, guys. That's why I only go back a week, because man, you don't have to, look, there's 4 or 5 pages of these things. What a crazy world. So let's look at Belich and Belich. That was a week ago. Whoops, sorry. All of some of the details, whether you care to see them or not, they're all in there. All right. Any case, you can look at all kinds of court records, I guess is what I'm getting at here. So let's do this. What I want to do is go back to the checklist, okay? So far, we know what we're looking for, we know where we're looking, and now we know how to find specific owners of specific properties in those areas. So if we're looking for flipping material, we would use school report, Melissa data to narrow things down by combination of school area and zip code, right? And then once we knew the great areas for flipping, we would go into the court records and look for court records that have those zip codes on there. And that's who we would send a letter to. So in the case of landlord-tenant cases, it's even easier because we already know the specific properties. We even know the specific owners. Sometimes with flipping, you've got to look through a lot of divorce records and things like that, or probate records, to see who's recently filed. In fact, we didn't go to probate, did we? Let's see if I don't think probate is going to be in this section here. Yeah, I don't see it. There's actually a different part of the court records to go through for probate. But back to this checklist. I just want to make sure we're keeping up here. So once you know all this, remember the letter itself, I'm going to show you here in a minute, but the envelope, you want to always handwrite the recipient's name and address. And of course, always handwrite your name and address. Okay, because it has a higher open rate. And then in the letter itself, let's just go ahead and look at the letter. Okay, this is typed, obviously. I have to type my letters, guys, because I can't even read my own handwriting, so I have to type them. But always start off with the salutation being first name only. The only exception is this: if we know from the county property tax records that the owner is a doctor, okay, so if we go back there, the property records, now if I see here, if this says Miller Daniel J, comma, MD or DDS or something like that, then when I'm sending the letter, I'm going to put doctor in their last name. Dear Dr. Miller. It's the only exception we make. Normally speaking, we always put the first name in here. Dear Clay, right? Dear Shannon, dear Gary. If Shannon's a doctor, I'm going to say, Dear Dr. Goldsmith, okay? Because doctors typically want to be referred to as doctor, and of course, then you have to use their last name. Now, the other thing you'll notice here is up above, there's no letterhead. Just get rid of it. With these small, what we call mom and pop properties, you don't want to do that. It's going to reduce your open rate. Reduce your response rate. If we're dealing with bigger properties, yes, we do use a more formal letter. That one's actually on the website, okay? Under the resource section, and you'll see it's more formal. Let me just go there real quick and I'll show you. I should have just stayed on My Investment Services, but I didn't think we'd come back again. So there it is. So My Investment Services, members area. Remember, guys, the silver level over here on the left-hand side is all the resources. There's a ton of stuff out here. So let's look at marketing techniques and docs. And I'm going to show you another letter we use that goes to apartment owners. So these are properties that are typically larger, 10, 20, 30 or more units. And if you look, you'll know this letter I'm going to show you here in a second is a little bit more formal. See that? That's one of my teams, right? Keller Williams Win Realty team. Letterhead, more paragraphs in here, more stuff, and basically the same tagline at the end. So in any case, I just wanted to show you that briefly. Let me go back to the one I wanted to show you, which is the informal one, or the mom and pop letter. I don't want to go over this on the webinar here because we've already gone over this in class, but I would encourage you to keep the letter the same wording. Don't change it. Whenever you send this out, like for divorce cases, don't say, Dear Clay, I'm sorry to hear about your pending divorce. I've had people do that, and sometimes it can backfire on them. I know some of you are probably laughing now, but that actually has happened. People going through divorce or probate, remember, that's very stressful. It's like you lost somebody, okay, in your life, and they don't, they freak out if you mention their specific circumstances. They're going to wonder, well, how the heck did you know that? This letter is very neutral, doesn't say anything at all about their personal circumstances, number one. Number two is it's making an offer. We're not saying I want to come visit your property. We're saying if you'd like this, if you're considering selling, please let me know. In any case, you can read this on your own. There's language patterns that we went over in class. I don't want to go over those again here. But I've learned in the past to just keep the letter just the way it is. If you're using it for yourself, for your own investing, then right here you would say, and I'm interested in properties just like yours. If you're using this as an agent representing investors, and you would say, and I have clients like in this example, Mr. Matajasic, and you definitely want to always get the permission first. This is someone from your database. Like, don't use my person. Okay, they're going to say, well, sometimes they'll ask you, well, introduce me to Mr. Matajasic. That's why this has to be an authentic, genuine person from your database, and always get their permission first. Okay, always get permission first. Okay, so we send this letter out. All right, and the letter is a repeat process. So you want to send it out up to 12 times. Now, once they respond to you, assuming they respond, you don't have to keep sending the letter, obviously, because now they're prospects. But always send it 12 times unless or until they respond to you, and then stop. And I've actually had people reach out to me a month or two later and say, why'd you stop sending me the letter? I've been meaning to contact you. I've just been busy. So it's a repeat process, and I'll give you a few more tips to the trade here. Oops, right, let me go back up. 7. Let's say your response rates start to level off after maybe the 3rd month, okay? So you're sending this letter to a neighborhood that has a lot of fourplexes, for example. And remember, you're looking to sell as many as you can. You don't want to just sell one, you want to sell as many as you can. So when your response rates start to drop off, what I would do is I would stick in the letter something like an informal CMA. So if I know I'm looking for fourplexes in this area, I'll do a CMA on fourplexes in the area, and I'll print off the summary pages, one for the actives, one for the solds, and one for the under contracts, and staple them together, fold them up, and put them in the envelope with this letter, okay, with this letter, all right, and now the recipient has not only the letter, but also an example of properties in their area that are moving, ones that are sold, ones that are under contract, and that generally will ramp up a few more responses for you. Another thing you can do that I've learned to do in the past is, you know, the newspapers. You can go to any hotel lobby and they'll have USA Today, New York Times, the usual stuff. If you see something that has to do with the economy, something has to do with interest rates or foreclosures or real estate in any way, shape, or form, like the new tax plan that came out last year, is print that off, make photocopies of it, and put a photocopy of that article in each of the letters that are going out. Do that. Let's say you do that in month number 6. So month number 3, you can include the CMA, informal CMA. Month number 6, you can include the article from the paper. I'll give you another hint. Maybe 3 months later, you're still getting responses. You want to keep the response rates coming in. I've also gone as far as including in the letter a printout of my clients by last name only, and the ones that are actively in the game of buying properties, highlight those names in yellow, and that'll should generate a few more responses for you. The other thing too is some kind of obvious here. I'll just tell you it anyways. Let's say you're in an area looking in this example at fourplexes, and you're just around the corner from one of the properties that you've been sending the owner the letter for to the owner on his or her property. You swing by there and you look and you see somebody's out cutting the grass, or somebody's installing a window or repairing the roof or what have you. Well, chances are half the time it's the owner of the property. A lot of owners we call them mom and pops. They're trying to do everything themselves to save a buck, end up working their butts off, and not really enjoying the fruits of their labor. But regardless, even if it's not the owner, who is it typically going to be? That's right. It's going to be somebody who's working for the owner. Okay. So now you can step out of your car and say, look, I'm the person who's sending this letter. We're out looking right now. If you ever thought of selling, now's the time to let me know. And so you combine foot traffic, or basically pounding the pavement. It's really not door knocking, because the person's outdoors and you've already sent them something in the mail. Okay. In any case, here it is right there. Follow up the recipients by stopping by the property. So no matter where, if you're going in as an investor or a realtor, make sure you secure the business some way, shape, or form. Don't ever leave the scene without knowing what the next step is and communicating that next step clearly to the person there at the property. Okay. In any case, that's pretty much the letter and the letter technique. There is a transcription. Okay, here's a transcription. There's a webinar just on using a letter, and I'll make sure that you get the transcription for this too, okay? So this is actually just there it is right there. So what this is there's a recorded webinar on this, guys. In fact, let me show you where that is. Remember, this whole webinar is being recorded, okay, guys? So let's go close out some of these sessions here. Close that one out. And let's go back to My Investor Services. I thought I had it up there. I must have closed it out inadvertently. Go to the members area. This is how you go back to all the prior recordings, okay? So click on server level. Go into weekly Q&A webinars, okay? And we know the transcription is from January 27th, 2016. So we're going to go back in time, okay? Let's see, we need 2016 or 2017 now. We're getting close. All right, 2016. See all these recording? Guys, every one of these is a recorded webinar. Like here, marketing techniques for using investor clubs, grocery stores, churches, restaurants, so forth to attract investors. So we 127, here it is right here. Let's click on that. 2016 and 127. There's one more step, and then you can get you can actually watch the recorded webinar. So now you got the transcription, you've got the recorded webinar, okay? You've got the checklist, 2017 in front of you with 2016. There it is right there. Q&A webinar right there. I'm not going to turn it on because it'll actually start the recording. The good news about these recordings is that you can start them and stop them anytime you want. You can watch and listen to how you actually use the letter. You can use the transcription to review it. You can use the checklist, okay, right here. And you've also got this letter and the formal letter. So you got a lot to work with, you guys. Let me pull the panel back over and check for questions. Let's see, this is from Shannon. Gary, I hear you speak a lot about buying multi-unit properties as rental properties. Is this what most investors are interested in for rentals, or do they target single-family residentials as well? Yeah, so Shannon, everybody's different. I know for me in the past, I would only do duplexes and single-family homes. I like single families because when I wanted to raise capital, it's easier to sell a single family than it is to sell a multi-unit, typically, right? So it's like a holding pattern. I like the single families to hold some capital. I also know that the single families will appreciate generally more than the multi-units will. However, the multi-units, it's more of a game of efficiency. The more units you have per property, per purchase, the management becomes a lot more efficient. And rent raisers are compounded, like your rent raisers are multiplied by the numbers of units in the building. So I tend to lean towards the multi-units, and most seasoned investors, once they're in the game and running, they always will lean towards the big multi-units. And your clients will do the same thing. Just get them started right now with the duplexes and the fourplexes. And I promise you, Shannon, some of them are going to graduate and move up to the bigger properties. So excellent question, by the way. Thank you for doing that, for asking the question. Okay, this is Adam. So hang on one second. Let me go back up here and start at the beginning of the questions. Okay. Okay, we talked about Raymond's distressed properties. Okay, this is the next question, Raymond. Again, makes sense. I just need to find it on my local county. Yeah. So if for everyone in the greater LA metro area, sometimes it's a challenge. I mean, it just is. And if you just want to just pay for a service, a really good paid service is called Rebo Gateway, REBO Gateway. Well, excuse me, it's a paid service, but they'll do all the legwork for you. You just get what you want, you plug it in, and they give you the report back. You can also use a application from a title company called Ticor, Ticor. They're in the area. They're in Vegas too. If you go on your cell phone, you go to your Play Store for Samsung's, or you go to the iTunes or whatever it is, iTunes Store for Apple. Look for the app called Ticor for Agents. You can download that's free on your phone, by the way. And you can see in there, they'll give you like red pins and green pins. Red pin means it's tenant occupied. Green pin means it's owner occupied. And you click on it, you get the actual owner's address too. So if you click on a red pin, it gives you the owner of the property and their mailing address. They're getting from the property tax records. But more importantly, guys, that's a great app to plug in like a zip code or a town and look at all the properties. The red doors, by the way, the U.S. Postal Service calls them absentee owners. All that means is that they don't live there. That doesn't mean they're absent. But chances are they're rentals. So Shannon, you can look up the single families in a zip code that have red doors, pretty much being assured that they're rental properties. And then you can contact the owner about you potentially investing in or selling that property for them. Okay. So great questions, guys. Let's see, Adam, how many letters should I send out each week? So Adam, the letter frequency depends on the demand you have. So you only use the letter when you have demand for a type of property. You want to do it every month for 12 months. Now, there are exceptions. Let's say you're dealing with certain scenarios like divorce or probate or something really sensitive that's happening right now. Landlord tenant cases, you might want to send a letter every week or every 2 weeks initially, and then pair it back off and start doing it once a month after the first couple letters. So you can basically improvise on this method by sending a letter out more frequently than one a month, depending on the circumstances. You got to think through what's happening with someone going through divorce, what's happening with someone going through probate, or evicting people. Okay, that was I think we're caught up on the questions. Okay, Raymond, are local title companies a good source for this? Yeah, you can go to local title companies. In fact, in your real estate office, you're associated typically with a title company. You could ask them to give you the information. Unfortunately, sometimes they'll say no because you're just busy. And every other agent's thought of that too, Raymond. I mean, I used to do it too. And I found out I'm better off going directly to get the information myself, because every other agent was going to get the same data. And usually you got to wait a couple of days. They don't like give it to you right there on the spot. And timeliness is everything. We want data like that's fresh today, and we can capitalize on that information today, right? But yes, you can definitely use attorneys. Okay, this is Shannon. Why do investors park money in properties? What is the benefit to them? So Shannon, I guess when I use the term park, what I mean is they may have other plans for their money, but they don't want to put the money in a bank where it's just going to sit there. To most investors, the real estate investment property is a tangible, physically, it's a tangible asset. It's a tangible income producing asset. And even though the market can fluctuate, like look at the last recession, that was very unique. It was led by real estate, which is unusual. Most market shifts are not led by real estate. They're led by other factors. And real estate doesn't adjust all that much. But in any case, they're parking their money because they don't want to, a couple reasons. They don't want it to be left in the bank. They don't trust the stock market. They know they can buy $1 million house here and bring in $2,000 to $3,000 a month in rents. Okay, I mean that's a 3.5% return over the year, and they're okay with that because it's not just the rents bringing value, but the property is also going up in value. So they get equity build up, equity pay down. The mortgage is being paid off, even if there is a mortgage. They get the cash flow from the rents, and they get the appreciation of the property going up in value. And Shannon, I got to tell you, I was surprised with this years ago. First time I saw this in San Francisco, people would buy with negative cash flow because they were banking on the appreciation. In other words, between cash flow, appreciation, depreciation, and equity paydown, they're looking more at appreciation, even more than cash flow, right? That's why people will do that. So excellent question, by the way. Okay, Adam, let's see. Okay, we asked the title companies. We answered that question. Looks like there's one more. Okay, this is from investors ready to target single families. We answered that question. Local title companies. Why do investors park money? Okay, we answered that. And guys, I think that is it. And my gosh, we're exactly at 5 o'clock Pacific time. which means I've got to run because I've got to do a Facebook Live event. So in any case, good session, guys. I hope you guys got out of this because that wasn't a handful. But I hope you can see how you can use the letter very effectively. I appreciate you participating in the webinar. I look forward to next week's, which is going to be, by the way, on the 20th, next Wednesday, the 20th, same time, but next Wednesday. If you have something you want to discuss, remember, please email me way ahead of time so I can prepare for it, okay? And we'll discuss anything you want to discuss. And if you're ready for a strategy call, please set that up. Anything urgent, just text me. If you got an urgent matter, just text me. In the meantime, God bless you and your families, and we will see you all next week. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.